Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the Graft Kings podcast. We are back in the UK. We're not in Moo-Moos. We're not in Bali. We're not in Australia. We're back in the UK. It feels good to be home, man, no?
Yeah, it does feel banging, yeah.
Well, the novelty has wore off.
Yeah,
A little bit.
I'm ready to leave again.
Yeah.
We're dipping in and out, which is good.
Let's address something as well, because you guys got to understand, like, if you watch the actual podcast, all the podcasts leading up before we went to Bali and the podcast leading up before Australia, we outrightly said numerous amounts of times that we was never permanently moving to either location. That was never, ever part of the plan, and it was said over and over again throughout podcast and through vlogs leading up to the move. Yes, maybe a title or a thumbnail maybe said that we've moved to Bali, but remember, things got to be clickbait, and technically we weren't wrong. We did, everything we said was true. We sold our cars, rented out our houses, and
Quit
now
our jobs.
and I quit our jobs.
Fired.
Basically got fired. But the point of the matter is, everything we said we have done. It's like everyone's like, "Oh, I thought you boys stand for Bali forever." That would be career suicide. Yeah, we could never have done that purely because we'd have lost touch with the UK. Second reason is we want to be in Europe for the summer. Bali had its shelf life. Yes, we probably will go back to Bali. We loved it. It was one of the best things we've ever done. It was probably one of the best business moves we've ever done. But then the plan was never to move to Bali. I couldn't imagine living in Bali full time anyway, could you?
No, not
Yeah,
full
I
time.
could.
Not full time, I couldn't. No, no
Good
way.
jokes, bro.
Whole year.
But being back home has sort of made me miss Europe and stuff like that. I can't lie. Like, I'm buzzing to get to like Spain and different
Yeah,
places
same,
in
but
the
you
UK.
could do that from Bali, no?
What?
I'll just pop back from fucking Bali to go to Scotland, shall we?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you could live there.
No, I couldn't live there permanently.
Really?
No.
I could live there for a long...
X amount of
Not
time.
like my whole
Dipping in and
life,
out.
but I could do like a year there easily.
Oh, no way. I could do a
so I
year.
Really?
couldn't. No, I
Not
couldn't
without
do it.
dipping in and out, no way.
Just to reiterate, though, this is for the people that are trying to come at us in the comments acting like we've not... Like
Someone said, "Oh, I didn't make it then, boys.
Like-
Back to your jobs." I was like,
It's funny, innit? Because more than support, people just assume that you fell and they want to see you fail. Of
course
They're
they do.
just so quick to jump on it. What happened there, mate?
"You failed, did ya?
Yeah.
Back to your normal
mate.
job, did ya?"
Well, guess what we're doing for summer, mate? Everything that you're not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We've probably been in about... We've just about come back into the country. We've done more than what you probably have done in the 4 years. And I'm not saying that to be muggy. I'm saying it for those people that are sitting there that are thinking that we've failed. So suck your mum.
Yeah, this is all part of the plan. We go to Morocco tomorrow, and then we go to Turkey after Morocco, then we're back for a couple of weeks, and then we go off to Marbella. So, like, this was always the plan. This was the plan. We built this plan in 2024. So we are on target for everything we set to do. It's just you motherfuckers don't actually watch the full-on content, and you go, "Oh, I thought you was moving to Bali full-time." No, you're just an idiot, and you just see either clips or you just read titles and assume.
And they can't wait to jump on the fail.
Like
I mean, they can't
have
wait,
just,
bruv.
no, but like people that have just asked out of curiosity, that's okay. Like
Yeah, that's cool.
I get it.
Like, what happened, boys?
Yeah,
Like,
like you
yeah,
might
yeah.
have not. There might be a misinterpretation. There are
Understood,
miscommunication
yeah.
somewhere, and they might have thought we're staying there. Like because a lot of my friends messaged me going, "Why are you guys
Same,
back?"
yeah, same, yeah.
So like maybe there's a miscommunication somewhere. So granted, that's okay. People can ask. It's those other dickheads that jump into the comments acting like, "Oh, you've come back because you fucked up." Well,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
mate,
yeah.
we haven't. We still got the most.
It's cheaper to live out there.
Huh?
It's cheaper to live
It
out
is.
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
could
yeah.
fucking disappear and live well out there, mate.
85p a coffee, bruv. I'm game.
Oh,
Oh,
I missed them days.
charged nearly £5 at Costa and it was jank.
580 Starbucks.
Oh, it was
so
jank.
bad, so bad.
It was so jank, mate.
But we have decided as well that not that it wasn't ever the plan, but like we have decided that we want to do far more in the UK as well.
Yeah.
Like it was, we all
That'd
said
be nice.
we was talking
In
about
the summer.
In the summer, yeah. of
You
course,
won't
like,
catch me here in the winter long periods of time.
Nah.
We kind of realised we haven't actually scratched the surface in the UK yet. Loads of cities we haven't done: Nottingham, Wales, Newcastle, Liverpool, Scotland. Like, there's just so many. Bournemouth. Like,
Boys, we are forgetting, like, we are only, like, into the vlogging game about a year and a half in or a year in.
yeah, that's
Like,
right.
give
Yeah.
us a fucking chance to do
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
shit.
But this summer we are going to smash the arse out the UK.
Yeah, we have to.
100%. Like we will do as many UK cities as we can in the UK this year in summer.
if-
Definitely.
Yeah, we're not leaving that for you, Page boys and girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
For
nice to
those
be back
that thought
touching
that we
base.
are.
Yeah, sorry to break your heart, but we're actually probably going to be more relentless and
Yeah,
be
thank
more
you.
on your For You page more than ever.
And do you know what? We spoke about it. Let's say it. We're bringing back the fucking old school Graft Kings, mate. We're going in back more relentless. I'm going to go into our old school fucking, like, the way we used to talk about things. I think we've gone a little bit PC, mate. I'll be honest.
I don't think intentionally.
Not
I
intentionally.
don't,
I
yeah.
think not intentionally. We're thinking of the brand. I get what's going on, but I just think I'm not fucking holding back from anything I want to say anymore, bro. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I second that.
Like
Let's do it.
bringing it back. I want to piss everyone off on fucking TikTok.
Yeah.
Just want to go back to just annoying people that coming at us, bro. Fuck them. They do it anyway. I got so much shit for doing that intro in front of fucking Wiki. Like,
You
I
got
got
grilled for
cast.
that, boy. Fucking hell.
Anyway, let's address why we're doing this pod because I don't want to waffle too much. We could say a lot. But loads
I
more
could, yeah, I
plans.
could say a lot. I'm not choosing not to say a lot right
In
now.
what
but,
respect, sorry?
like, I just want to piss people off.
Yeah. I'm
We'll
just
go
saying-
into that. We'll go into another. Let's go into the.
Start with Dubai women.
Sorry, decorum over here.
Start with Dubai women.
Dubai women.
Oh, that's
Then we go into Bali women, mate.
That's what struck the convo, isn't it? We was watching back old school content. I was like, bruv, we was fucking relentless, mate.
Why did we stop?
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't think it was intentional.
You know what?
Yeah.
We didn't stop. We tried something new.
Yeah.
We tried to like adapt to a few different things, but we know our audience wants us given what they want.
And you know what? We went out for the first time in the UK on Saturday, and the reception we got was unbelievable.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Like it was
A lot of love.
a lot of love. So shout out to everyone that comes up to us and shows love on nights out and stuff like that, or when you see us, because we really do appreciate it. And you know what? We always get a very warm reception from fellas,
Yeah.
and then we do get some kind of negative. Let me break it down. We get a little bit of negative from women, but then once you have a conversation with them, their whole mind's turned. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're like, "Oh, I thought you thought this." I went, well, name one thing we've said that's negative, and they never can ever.
I know why that is though. Because
yeah.
because men watch the long form, women only watch short form content. And sometimes we do say things to trigger people or like
Course, yeah.
to say it in a way where you know it's going to get some sort of attention. And that's the only types of content I believe women watch hours of.
And people need to realise that as well. Like, it is a content game. Like, we are trying to get reactions out of people. We are trying to rock the boat a little bit. So when you do watch that short form, we got to remember we do that on purpose as well.
Oh, I say everything with
Like-
chest and I mean it.
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes it's worded in a way
The
that,
delivery.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
delivery
yeah.
can be a little bit
On purpose.
emphasised
Yeah, emphasise.
for your viewing. Hop.
Oh, Barbie.
Very quiet since March, isn't it?
It feels good to be back for now.
Yeah, it does
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
good to be back.
It was nice to see Famo and that, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just touch base with everyone back in the UK. We started to feel as though we were potentially not relevant. What's the word? I'm looking
Losing
for?
touch.
Relatable.
Relatable. Thank you. We started to feel like we weren't as relatable anymore because we're so far away, and we understand that and we get that.
We felt like that as well.
Yeah, we did feel like that. We felt like we'd personally lost touch with the UK base and the European base. Like, and at the end of the day, look, the UK is home. You people are our hub. You are our boys and girls. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it does feel good to be back. Can't lie.
Rightfully so, though, bro. You're on the other side of the world time difference, all of
Yeah,
that.
it's a
Like,
bit of it is a bubble, man.
we was there for a long time, and the amount of shit we put out was all the content we put out was all Bali based, wasn't it? Taught us a lot that trip. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it did,
We
yeah.
had to do that.
That
trip.
changed the whole dynamic of the business.
We had to do it to understand so much more in depth about us.
For real.
But
For real.
that's between us.
So today we are talking about
Why you should not get married before you're 35?
yeah.
For men.
For men.
Women? No. 18. No. I'm
Yeah,
joking.
gosh, yeah, cool. But yeah, for men, why we believe that in today's day and age, men should not get married before they are 35 years old.
Anyone like to kickstart this off?
What do you really bring to the table below the age of 35? Like, what are you actually providing? Now, I will say, like, there is an exception, and I will always say this, and it's very rare nowadays, and I'm jealous of anyone that has found this. But unless you've got a childhood sweetheart that you met in school and you've grown with them and you're still together, that is literally probably the ultimate love.
Yeah.
Like, that is so rare nowadays. That was probably very common like 50 to 60 years ago, even further back than that. But that's so rare nowadays, and that is the only thing I can think of that exception, which is the exception to the rule. Apart from that, if you're just meeting someone on a night out or you've known them for a few months, why the hell do you think you're in a position to get married to them under the age of 35?
A few months.
People do it.
Yeah. Well,
I know people got married in a year of knowing each other.
Yeah, I've seen that. And
That's financial
I've
suicide,
seen that
by the
at
way.
our age as well. People know each other a year, they're dating, next thing you know, they're engaged. I'm like, what?
the thing
You
is,
don't even
like,
know that person yet, man.
that can work, but it's just very, very rare. I feel like there's a very small percentage of people that will actually get with someone that quickly and it work out. Like, it can, but I
Yeah.
think it's very rare because the point is when you live with someone, when you're around someone, that's essentially when you get to know enough about them. Like, even us living together in Bali probably like set stone more. things.
Yeah.
Like, imagine getting married to someone and like moving in with them and you're like, fucking hell, that's not what I expected.
Well, the thing is, people don't like to talk about harsh realities. People get blinded by love, which I understand. The emotions sometimes can take over the actual logical standpoint of stuff. But I'm a very numbers-based guy and statistics-based guy, and the statistics and numbers do not work in your favor. Like when it comes to marriage, I'm not saying it against marriage, by the way. I personally don't think I don't know if I'll ever get married, but that's a subject for another time. But
Government affairs and that.
yeah, I do. Listen, I've always said this. If my wife or my girlfriend at the time or my fiance at the time wants to have the day, wants to have the wedding and stuff like that, but the whole actual signing paperwork so the government can approve of my marriage, I just don't understand the necessity of it. Like, why do I need to involve the government in my affairs? Like, why does that need to happen?
Tradition, innit? That's what it is.
It's not tradition. I think the tradition's the cover up. I think that's how they sugarcoat it. They say, "Oh, that's the tradition. You should do it." But what does the man really gain out of the marriage?
I agree. Just
On a statistical basis, by the way, as well.
Risk always outweighs the benefit for a man in most cases. I personally believe for a high value man.
Even low value men, man.
Yeah, they get fucked over as
Like,
well.
say you're just an average Joe, which is fine. You got an okay house and you got some kids and stuff like that, and then you were splitting the mortgage with your missus, and then she wants custody, and then she takes half the house, and then now you have to move back in with your mum or move in with your friend.
You got another guy living in your property.
It probably damages low value man more than it does high value man, because a high value man can bounce back from it quicker. A low value man's left in dirt.
It can literally financially cripple men.
Yeah, it does.
bro.
What
It
if
does.
it was the other
emotionally.
way around?
What?
And your missus was like cake-ho, and she was like, I want you to sign a prenup, and you knew you earned less than her.
Yeah, I'd sign it.
Yeah, it's fine.
That won't ever happen, but I'll sign it.
That's because men are loved conditionally, mate.
Yeah, I know, I
Love
agree.
conditionally. I feel like men actually love women unconditionally under the value that they're just their rock and their person, that they can fucking be their inner peace. Where like, I'm sorry, but most women are looking for sponsors. So therefore, like, if you are in a marriage, like, you are there because you provide something, you're able to, and that's fine. Like, as a man, you want to be able to do that, but the problem is you're looked at as a sponsor rather than a husband, and you're fucked over. Like, it's used against you as soon as you go through a divorce. I think it should always be like amicable, or like, I don't think just because someone signs a prenup, a woman signs it, means that she gets nothing. I've always like,
I agree.
Yeah.
I've always said it.
Everything you built
The whole
together, innit?
point, in my opinion, of a prenup is to set stone things into place to say, like, this can't be touched. God forbid if something were to go wrong. If something were to go wrong, like, if I built this, that's fine. But what we have between us is ours. I wouldn't like just abandon you, especially if we've got kids. I would still do something and put something into place to protect you and me. That's the whole point. It's a contract. But then the whole point is women just look at that as a very emotional standpoint.
Yeah,
and go,
that's
well,
right.
we love each other. What's the point?
prenup
But
is usually there.
Things change.
A prenup is usually there to protect you from the assets that you had before you got with that woman. So if you've got inheritance and you've got this, if I've got that for my parents, that's usually why a prenup exists, is to anything I've built pre-you, you can't touch. Anything we build while I'm with you, if we buy houses together, do properties together, make business together, I'll split that with you 50-50. That's fine.
That's fair, isn't it?
That's fair.
Yeah, but anything before that I get from my
They go
parents
for it
or anything
all.
like that,
They go for it all sometimes.
you're not getting
And
it.
the worst part is if you've got kids as well, they take that and you got to pay alimony.
Cool, yeah, of course.
And you're fucked.
Yeah.
How are you meant to provide that? Bro, I met this guy in the Lloyd, I won't say his name, and we was having this conversation in the spa, and he said to me he was happily married. He goes, bro, I was absolutely in love with my wife. He goes, the most amazing relationship. He goes, her parents were a little bit weird with me, like her mum was, I think, and he's like, I don't know why. He goes, I always did what I could to like show myself to be the best husband I could be for their daughter. He goes, bro, he goes, within a month, he said that she wanted a divorce, took absolutely everything. He goes, we had a business together. She took my house. He goes, I'm living in a 1-bedroom house in Romford now. He goes, literally a studio gaff. He goes, I've lost absolutely everything. He goes, I'm building myself back up, but
Still, it's not the point, yeah.
It's horrible.
Marriage is a contract.
It's a massive
Contract,
step
yeah.
back.
Marriage is a contract. Then papers you're signing is a contract.
It is a contract.
And then why do you think you need to get lawyers involved and stuff when you have a divorce? Why do you think that has to happen? Because everything needs to be divvied up. There needs to be rights in place. She gets this, and this. Marriage is a contract. If you don't sign that contract, there is no need to get lawyers involved if you then break up. That's the whole reason you
I
signed
think
that.
they still do though,
I don't. No. For
Whatever
what?
you can.
For what?
because the houses will be in your name.
Okay, yeah, but the house that would just be
there is legalities
no,
involved.
because you've got when you get a mortgage, like I've got a mortgage with Dan, that is split 50-50. So if me and Dan, I'm not going to say it on camera, but say me and Dan split up, what do you reckon happens? There's no lawyers involved. I own 50%, he owns 50%. That's it. There's no argument between it. The contract, the mortgage is the contract. It has nothing to do with the relationship you have with the person who lives in the house with. The contract, yeah.
The worst part is as well though, like when you actually go through this divorce, like the government is involved in your affairs in and outside the country.
Yeah.
Like if you have assets within a certain other country, they will look into that as well, especially if it goes to trial.
Yeah, capital, innit? Yeah.
Like if it gets discussed amicably, then it's fine. But essentially, if it doesn't, and it's just going for it, and there's a problem, they'll get involved in all of that as well. It's fucked.
It's not just that as well. They go off the watches. My mate had to give his watches to his pal because they were going to go after his watches.
Let me interrupt the podcast real quick, boys. I'm here with Uncle Oz. Tell them why they should be on the right side.
Do you know what? We've got years of experience, and I'm just going to say it as it is. We know how to act around women. We know how to pull women. We know how to attract a woman rather than chase a woman. And everything that we preach in the right side is strictly around women. Of course, we're talking about networking. Of course, we're talking about dating. Of course, that we're doing meetups. We're doing everything that we can this summer with you boys. But apart from that, you guys need to learn how to level the fuck up. And we're teaching that exactly in the right side.
On top of that, though, boys, what we're doing, we're not just building a community, we're building a movement. These boys are making money together, traveling the world together, starting businesses together, best of all, chatting up birds together. There is no limit on this movement, boys. We want as many of you in here as possible. We want to be changing the way that these young boys, including you, live their lives forevermore. www.jointherightside.com. Come join it.
It's crazy.
But they go for everything.
Yeah, boys, before 35, man, it's just not worth it. You've got too much to risk. Way too much to risk, mate. Like in every possible way, your emotional standpoint, financial standpoint, social standpoint, you've got too much to lose, boys. Way too much to lose before you're the age of 35. At the age of 30, I don't feel as though I've come into my prime until roughly now. I feel like I'm starting to come into it.
You think you're in your prime, yeah?
I'm coming into it, yeah. Banging. Got my hair back now. We're coming into it now. We're in your 30s, I believe, as a man. That is when you come into your prime.
If you haven't been married by 30, do you know what you've done? You've dodged your first divorce.
Yeah, you're
That's
probably
what
right.
you've done.
Yeah, you're right.
You've
bruv,
dodged
yeah.
your first divorce, mate.
Yeah, for real.
So, like, I think personally, just elaborating on what you said, you're absolutely right. Your whole mind, everything just shifts as you go into your 30s.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily being rich, but from a financial standpoint, you're in a different position. You like to think so. Just emotionally, like your emotions, who you are as a man, the way you walk, the way you talk, just everything is different. How you communicate, everything is different, in my opinion.
Yeah, for real.
Like how you look at yourself when you're, even in your late 20s to your 30s, I think is two completely different games. And you will know exactly more what you want because you've established and created a certain life for yourself. Then you know what type of woman you deserve.
A woman matures quicker than a man. However, a man matures for longer than a woman. So a woman will mature.
Oh, I like that.
A woman will mature quick. That's why they're like, a woman can be a mum overnight and she will mature quick, and take on motherhood and et cetera, et cetera. Whereas we don't grow up as nowhere near as fast as women. But then by the time we get to our 30s, we will overtake the woman's maturity. By the time we get to your 30s and in your adolescence, as a male in your early 30s, that's when you really start to come into like, okay, cool. I know the type of man that I am now. You should be in a better financial position in a career-wise, like the way that you hold yourself around people, the way you conversate, your mindset in terms of being able to hold a conversation and express your emotions. Like only now, you look at yourself when you was 25, 26, you're a completely different human being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Completely different. Your aspects of as who you are as a man, your mindset, like your views on going out, your views on fucking relationships and how things you would do. Like completely and utterly different now. 25 years old, you wouldn't give a shit. Now at 30, you're like, okay, cool. Like I have changed a lot.
I can count on one hand how many people I know that are happily married.
Yeah, if that.
Happily.
More unhappy than married.
The key word there is happily married. Not married, happily married.
agree.
From what you know, from what you said.
No, we when I have conversations, it's like they always go, oh, no, you get, oh, fucking hell, you're doing the right thing, mate. And then no one's ever got anything nice to say. Like, oh, you're doing the right thing, traveling around with your boys and that, fucking hell, I'm stuck at home with her. There's never nothing nice to say. Like I said, there's always exceptions to the rules, of course. And I'm not saying every marriage is unhappy. I'm just saying the conversations I have, which is a lot of conversations, 9 times out of 10, no one seems to be happy in their relationship. And all this Instagram bollocks that you see with them on boats or at Christmas in their pajamas and all this other stuff they put up for show just to prove to you that they're happy. 9 times out of 10, they're not happy, which is a shame. Because we live in an era now where you're just trying to prove to everyone that you're happy when you're really not, which is just, it's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Everyone just falls into a system, though. I think that's what it is. It's just built for you to believe that that is a standard and standard of what you need to do. Especially when we was younger. Imagine how it was in your early 20s. You was like, I need to be married by 27, 28. That was the norm. I need to work in a
Social
good job.
pressure.
Yeah, you're like, and I used to get more pressure from my dad. I did in my mid 20s than I do now.
Well, I do think there's been a massive generational shift. I was actually reading a post on Instagram the other day. Don't quote me on what post it was, but have you ever looked at old films and look at how 30-year-olds look compared to what 30-year-olds look today?
Mad.
Like a 30-year-old today looks like a 20-year-old back then.
Yeah.
Like there's been a massive generation shift. And I think I honestly do believe there's a few factors, not just one. I think that's more people are invested into their health nowadays. People, and there was a whole study on more people drink more people are invested into, you think it's crazy, but drinking bottled water. I don't mean just not tap water, I just mean water in general. Like there was a massive shift in how water was marketed. You know, what was the most consumed bottled beverage on the planet? More than anything.
Makes sense.
More than any other drink. But that never used to be a thing. That only come into play like in the last 30, 40 years. And there's a reason why I'm saying this. They reckon that the whole shift has been where people are more health conscious, drinking more water, concentrating their sleep more, going to the gym, having better nutrition options. It slowed the age process down. And we've got better pharmaceuticals.
People are living longer,
Yeah, people are living longer. So, and it's not just that. I think the whole way society's set up nowadays, a massive contributor to that is probably social media as well. People's lifestyles. They know that that's not the only option now. Back then, that was probably one of the only options. You go to school, you get a job, you get married. That was the system. The system's been completely corrupted and disrupted because of social media. And I feel like because of all these factors, the whole thing shifted. So like my brother probably when he was in his when he's 15, 16, 17, he's probably thinking he's going to get married at like 25. My parents, but they used to get married like my parents didn't. They didn't in their early 20s, like 21, 22. But back in the day, bruv, you get married at 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. That's when you used to get married.
Had 2 kids by the time of 21.
Exactly.
My mum was 18 by the time she got married. Had me and my sister by 2021.
That was completely normal. That was normal.
That was normal.
So, but the thing is, some people are mentally stuck in a different time zone. They think like that is the still norm today. So when we give this broad saying 35, listen, 34, it could be 33, it could be 36. But the point of the matter is that them key ages are probably the ages where you want to start looking into maybe settling down and stuff. But don't get stuck into this mindset where, well, they got married at this age. The whole generation, you don't live in the same time. This is a completely different time. Everything's changed. Nothing's the same anymore. And especially the world's completely shifted. Changed everything forever. And the reason why I'm talking about COVID is like the whole working from home. You have more options. People know they can work remote now. Everything has changed. So stop living in the past. You live in the present, and there's so many more opportunities for you to grab onto and live your life now than there ever was before. So why? And you're like you said, you're a long time married.
Yeah, proper.
And you've only got a short window to have this single lifestyle of traveling the world and doing whatever you want to do and build your wealth. That's very important. It sounds horrible. With the right woman, I do agree, you can grow and you can have a great business. But women are a huge distraction as well, a massive distraction. And they don't mean to be, they just want your attention, like any person in any relationship would. But they do slow you the fuck down, especially if you're trying to build something big.
The reason why a lot of young relationships in today's day and age fail is because the older that you get, your mindset changes and you grow apart.
So right.
Outgrow each other.
Yeah.
Completely outgrow each other. And that's not for any hate for one another or for any other reason, bar the fact is as you're getting older, your beliefs start to change. Your outlook on life starts to change. Your desires to start to change. Your mannerisms and your personality starts to change. And you can go like that in terms of like, I believe this now, I believe that. And they're like, well, actually, I don't. But we're not like, that's not a bit of me anymore. You're like, actually, do you know what? Your mindset now is not as attractive to me as it was 10 years ago.
You're 100% right.
When we were 22 years old. So you've got to remember when you're trying to say to someone that, oh, my forever and can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, and you're 26 years old, 9 times out of 10, they are not your forever. Like, they are a learning curve.
He's right.
Do you know what I mean? They literally are a learning curve. You are learning about what you accept, what you want, what you don't want in someone. Mindset changes, shifts, personalities, like family. You're learning not only about other people, but you're learning so much about yourself when you're with someone at a young age, because you're constantly developing, you're constantly changing. And so 9 times out of 10 guaranteed is you are not going to be with that person after 5 years.
Do you think men should like date to learn then rather than date to marry?
Men under
initially?
35 should 100% date to learn, not date to marry. As you start
Teaches you a lot.
100%. Because what you need to do growing up, especially when it comes to your dating life and relationships, is learn more about you, what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept, what your boundaries are as a human being with other people, and learn about people's mindsets in terms of what you're attracted to and what you're not. Are they family driven? Does she want to be a stay-at-home mum? Is she career driven instead? Like, what do you want in someone? And you're then learning about yourself. So learning about yourself. So by the time you get to 33, 34, 35, as a man and as a woman, you should really know and understand the type of partner that you're looking for. So the next person you meet, bang, they're the person for life.
Yes, boys, let's interrupt once again. We spoke about the right side, but now, listen, if you can't afford a coffee a day, we understand. Soon, hopefully, you'll be able to get there. So for now, we have a free Telegram. Tell them about the Telegram.
Guys, the Telegram's got all the behind the scenes, all of the things that we cannot post on YouTube, cannot post on Instagram. Think of it like a private story, especially exclusively for the GK members.
Exactly that, boys. And not only that, when you join the free Telegram, you get a free dating ebook that was formulated by us. So why are you waiting, boys? Join the Telegram. Links in the description. Just to elaborate on what you just said, do you know what? You know, you said as you grow, you change. Do you know what's accelerated that the most? Social media. I honestly believe Instagram has killed love. And the reason why, back in the day when there wasn't social media and you lived in your little village with your wife and your family, you go to your factory or you go to your office and then you come home with your kids, your belief system would have been altered very slightly on a very, very, very slow basis because you didn't have so much access to knowledge. And the knowledge that you was receiving, everyone was reading from the same playbook. Everyone was reading the same newspaper. Everyone was listening to the same radio. Everyone was watching the same TV. So your belief system wasn't corrupted as much. So you'd all probably believe in the same kind of shit growing up. So when you would grow together, you'd grow believing and
same
evolve
stuff.
the same stuff.
Yeah.
So nothing really would change. So that's why it was probably more common for people to not evolve, like you said, and change because you was all singing from the same hymn sheet. And also social media, what it's gave you as well, it's gave you options, which is a terrible thing and it's a good thing because you always go, well, if this one fucks up, I've always can go chat to her or I can go chat to him. You know what I'm saying?
They think they have options, they don't.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you've now got a catalogue.
Yeah,
People never had a catalogue. If you wanted to go and meet a girl back in the day, you'd have to go down to the local boozer or bump into her in the supermarket or some shit like that. You didn't have as many options. You now have something that's altering your concept on everything, and now you have options of thousands and thousands of people at your disposal if you wish. So I honestly do believe Instagram has killed love. Social media has killed everything.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's and listen, I'm not hating on social media, by the way. I'm not hating at all because we've built a business off social media. So I think social media is very good, really good.
Pros and cons, though, isn't it?
There's pros and cons to it.
There's probably like that's probably another reason to wait till you're 35 before you're not to get married before you're 35 as well. Is the fact is you want to make sure what you have in front of you is real.
Real, yeah. Spot on.
We're back in the day, like you actually kind of nurtured and looked after your relationship. You worked on it. If something was wrong, like you didn't just walk away from it. From what you're saying, you got an abundance of all of this attention through social media. You're walking away and you don't know what's real and what's not anymore.
You're so right.
So like the more you kind of spend time with someone, the more give you the opportunity to understand if they're there for the right reasons or not.
Well, it's not just that. Imagine like you didn't have to, not that this should be a worry, but you just got to live in reality. You didn't have to worry about her texting someone else because there was no texting. If she wanted to talk to someone, she'd have to send them an owl with a note in its mouth. Do you know what I'm saying?
It feels like it's gone now, right? In today's day and age, it's gone more from sort of peer pressure and family pressure to find someone to get married to societal pressure.
Yeah.
Of you need to have that type of relationship. He should be taking you to this restaurant.
Yep.
He needs to be spending 50 grand on a ring. You need to be going to this for your date night and that for your date night and this for your anniversary. And so girls see that and instantly compare. And so therefore their expectations are absolutely through the roof. The majority of guys aren't at that level of status when it comes to money, confidence, and just general status amongst his peers. And so they look at that and go, fuck me, I can't keep up with that.
Especially at a young age.
Especially at a young age. Especially these youngsters, 25, 26, they're slapping credit cards and trying to take girls out and flying girls out to these destinations and trying to take to these hotels. Like everyone needs to have a little bit of a reality check and bring their expectations down just a tad in terms of, I'm 25 years old. What 25-year-old do you know is going to drive around in a Lamborghini? There are not many of them. All right, so then the girls go for the older guys that have got a bit of money. Don't date the young guys. The older guys then know the younger girls are only there for a shag. The older guys are then going to fob that girl off. She's then left out in the cold and tries to then find an average Joe who she has to then settle with because she can't find no one else to take her because she's been around the block a little bit. And then they end up in an unhappy relationship.
And the poor guy's left with the run-through bird.
Yeah, exactly that.
Cold
It's-
world.
It is a cold world, mate. So people need to stop looking at social media and thinking, I deserve this, I deserve that. Well, you deserve nothing until you bring something to the table. Guys and girls. Do you know what I mean? You don't deserve that girl. If she's a homebody, isn't playing around, doesn't go out clubbing, is just like concentrated on her family and her friends. Like as a guy, you need to level up to make sure you deserve that type of woman.
They do exist, them girls.
Of course they do.
They do exist.
We have met them.
We've met loads of them.
Do you know what I mean? We
but
have
we're,
met them.
we're not the right people for them right
Yeah,
now.
100. I'm glad you said that
We're not. We are not the right men for them girls right now.
right now.
Like my mindset wants one of them, but right now I don't feel like I deserve one. In fact, if you want me to be totally honest, I don't.
I'd push her away.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Bit harsh.
I would.
I don't think he meant. I think he meant
It's just not the right time.
He's a fucking...
metaphorically.
Like we're talking about Lamborghinis and all of this and the life that you can give to someone, bruv. Like most men don't find wealth till they're in their 40s anyway.
So true. Yeah.
Like all of this shit that we're seeing through social media of everyone like selling or making 7 or 8 figure businesses is all bullshit anyway.
Not all of it.
Well, majority.
Majority, I agree.
Listen, there's money there to be made, but at the same time, like everything is a front, everything is a lie because it's a facade. Like all of this bullshit that we're seeing of people selling, they're selling a fucking get rich quick scheme, and which people are buying into and thinking that you're meant to be a millionaire by 20 or by 25. There's nothing wrong with striving to want to be that person and make that money, but the problem is you're constantly comparing yourself and you're always going to think I'm not good enough. But then it's like, when are you actually ready as well? I don't think necessarily like you need to be a fucking millionaire to be have a family, because
100%.
at the same time, if you actually met a very good woman that is going to be your wife, that is going to be the mother to your kids, and she's done that on the basis where you're skint and she's stuck by you, like Conor McGregor's wife, for example, then you know you've got a good woman. So again, it's subjective to the individual, but most women, I think, probably want a man that's already established and has all of this. And if you don't, you're not even accounted for.
In today's day and age, women in today's day and age don't want to grow with a man. Like what Yo was saying then, like they don't want to see it out with you and stick through the hard times. As soon as they hit a bit of rocky patch, they fuck off. And this might be quite harsh. This is going to sound quite harsh, and girls probably won't want to hear this. However, for a guy, I wouldn't recommend getting married before the age of 35, because as a man, you have different urges to a woman. Don't care what anybody says, you do. And so you need to let a man get it out of his system. In his younger years, he's a bit like a raging bull. And there is probably a higher chance of that man cheating in his younger years because of, especially the way today's society is set up and the way that social media is and the places to go and holidays and whatnot. And so by the time he gets to 35, you should hope that he would have majority of that out of his system by now. And he's like, okay, cool, I've seen that there's a lot of shit out there.
I agree.
I'm ready to calm down and settle.
I agree with what you're saying, but I think even there are some men that will get to 35 and still feel like they've not lived it, because you're thinking of a certain percentage of man that actually get what you're talking about. So the problem with that is, again, like men end up in relationships very quickly, get married, have kids and have this life, or by 35 even get with a woman and they resent the person they're with because of the life they couldn't live. So it's like, don't blame the people around you. Go build yourself and do what you need to do and have that fun if you want to and get it out of your system, because it's not your wife's fault. It's not your missus' fault that you didn't have your fucking shagging period. Like, so I think you're talking about a certain percentage of man that actually gets to do that. There's a lot of men that get to 35, 40 still haven't got a clue, bro.
Yeah, for
real.
They
still do not have a clue how to talk to a woman, how to walk, how to do all of this shit. And they just end up married because it's just like our family fear.
Yeah, for real.
And they just...
I don't want to be an old dad.
No, I think there's a timeline in there. You don't want to miss the boat either.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I reckon you can have kids in your 40s, brother.
You can.
You can, but I don't think you'd want to.
I want to be a fairly young dad, not like young.
I think 40 is young.
Yeah, but hold up. Think about it. You don't want to be a dad in your 40s. I get it. Like, if you can control it and it goes the way you want it to, you have one by 35 to 40. Let's just say hypothetically. If you're in your 40s and you have a kid, most likely, I would like to think, as a man, you've pretty much done what you need to business-wise. There's things set in stone. You would have more time for your kids than you would do than someone who's in their 20s when you're fucking out there to graft. Like, we've always said it, your 20s is there not just to fuck up, but you should be going after and building towards the life you want to live. So if you had a kid at 20, 25, is it going to slow you down because you've got a kid? Or even if you did, are you going to have all the time and the wealth for it? Because I know so many kids that probably don't even get to see their dad or their parents because they're out there relentlessly working.
Yeah, for real.
I never saw my dad a lot as a kid. My dad was always working. Dad was always working.
Like, hardly ever weekends if it was that.
Holidays and... Yeah, a few weekends away, that was it.
But my old man left to go to Turkey for a couple of months to work, because at the time, like, God knows how old it was, must have been like 2 or 3, so I don't really remember it. But he left to go work to figure out what he was doing. Like, and he smashed it in the end, fair play, but the geezer wasn't around. And that maybe made me like kind of grow up in a way feeling like there was something missing. So now I think, like, now this is why when we're doing what we're doing, I said my whole like objective has changed. Like, I want to free up my time to be able to do what I want when I want for these exact reasons. Like, if we build this and build everything that we're planning to do, then I'll be able to spend that time that my dad couldn't do with me, and to fill that void that I had growing up. And I've learned that through experience. So as a man, I do think you need to take your time with this.
I agree.
Fuck the outside noise. Fuck what people think. You're in your own lane.
That's all it is, really. Normally, ever you're always thinking what other people are thinking. That's why you're so rushed to do stuff. Like, I need to do this because of my parents' pressure, or social pressure, or my friends' pressure, or all your friends around you are getting married, and you have this massive pressure around you where you feel like I have to do this now because otherwise I'm going to be judged. That is the problem. If no one else was judging you, you would never probably rush to do anything. You'd probably just do everything in your own time when you feel like it's ready. But I feel like people just rush into things because they have an age stipulation in their head, or they've got pressure from other places.
Yeah. I feel like it correlates as well with like the type of people that are like that and the type of people that aren't. Like, for example, if you look at us, we don't really work to social norms. Like, our life is very abnormal to a normal person, and our beliefs are very abnormal to a normal person. So it always kind of follows like routines.
Or I don't think our beliefs are. You'll be surprised how many people.
We just open up to say it.
Every time I go out, every single even women have said this to me. When I was in Jimbo Law the other night, this girl stopped me in the lift. She went, "Are you from the Graft Kings podcast?" I was like, "She's like, listen, I've got to tell you, I absolutely love you guys so much. Do you know why I love you so much? You're saying what everyone else is thinking, but you've got the balls to say it on a platform."
Yeah, but we're living it, bruv. Like, we live it. We actively live it. People say things like that to us, but they're still not living it. They still go do the normal shit. They still go do the normal like forms of life that they would do, and they still live by the normal rules of life. But we don't. Like, we actually live what we say. There's all well and good people saying it to us, like, oh, you say everything that no one wants to say, but they're still not living it. They're not still doing it.
Yeah, because it's high risk, bro.
Massively.
This whole thing we're doing is so high risk. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't blame you. I've said this before. I don't blame you for feeling comfortable in your 9 to 5 and getting a good salary every week or every month coming in and having job security and having the safety net that you have. I don't blame you. It's a very comfortable life, but nothing good comes out of being comfortable. And that's why we're doing this, because it's so high risk and it is so uncomfortable, but the rewards
I wonder what made us like all shift.
Yeah,
'Cause there was obviously
other.
there was obviously a point in
Yeah,
our
there's a
lives when
point.
we were like, this is all right, like working normal jobs, kind of doing your thing. You're probably happy,
Well-
and then just what happened?
You found your purpose.
Yeah, but what?
Like,
I get
what
Merck's saying.
instigated it?
What got us to
Pressure.
really put over the
I'll
edge
take
and
pressure.
go, fuck it, let's just go for
Well, your
it.
pressure, you had to put you like I always said, if you've got a knife against your neck, you have to make it work. We're all making it work.
Got another choice.
I kind of enjoy it. It's so risky, but I'm just like,
It's terrifying.
It's absolutely, it's the most, to do it with the age we're doing it, it's the most high risk thing you could ever do. People are probably looking at us going, you're fucking mental. But they always go, oh, you boys are doing really well. Oh, fucking hell. But bruv, you don't know what comes with it. The stress.
Yeah,
the
oh,
stress.
Do you know what's funny? Like, certain conversations you have with people, they still think we're doing it for a fucking jolly up.
Oh, yeah, I know,
Especially
mate, I
like
know.
when you speak to a woman that you want to invest some sort of time with or that you like. It's like trying to have that conversation. So, what are you actually doing? So you're just traveling the world and doing it. Yeah, I am, but there's a reason for it. No one can ever really see the bigger picture until you kind of pinpoint it to say, if we are, let's just say, financially free and I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm taking you with me as my partner, are you going to be complaining about that? You're absolutely not, mate. You're going to be noshing me off in the evenings and in the mornings, like continuously, consistently, if I'm giving you that lifestyle. Like, it's true though, because right now it's like, I can't afford to do that, yeah? So she's looking at me like, oh, you just want to be in these environments to fuck a load of bitches, which might be partially true at the moment because we're single. But the point of the matter is, bro, like, if you're making bread, you can take your missus with you anywhere. You would integrate her to understand what
We
you're
said that
doing.
would happen anyway.
You would show her what you're doing to be able to integrate. Otherwise, you would never be able to find a partner for us.
And
in
again-
this specific scenario.
Do you know what, leading on what the boys are saying here? We'd never been able to do this at 25, 26. Never.
but
Never-
they've written everything off, boy.
Never. Yeah, you would have, bro. You probably would have. Yeah, you wouldn't have been in the right mental state, maturity, mindset to be able to handle everything we're doing, from the pressure, the scarcity of it. Like,
I don't think businesses would take us as serious as well.
the risk.
No.
Like, you wouldn't be able to do it. And that's the same for marriage, mate. That, like, trying to get married at 25, 26 years of age, like, you're still a kid, mate. I look at a 25-year-old today and I'm 30 and think, you're a baby, mate. Like, when I was 25 to now, I'm a completely different human being.
I think if a man wants to get married before his 30s, he lacks purpose.
I don't think he's found himself yet, mate.
You lack purpose.
Yeah.
You're just trying to do what you think you need to do because you don't know what else to be doing with your life.
I like that statement.
Like, it's just because, oh, fuck. It's like when people go
What
to
if he tells
university.
you he's in love?
There's probably the odd exception.
There's
Like,
always-
I'm not-
There is always an exception.
But what is love, bruv? It's subjective to the individual. Everyone's love is different. Some people have open relationships and they're in love.
Yeah.
That's
He
very-
might-
that's
he
very-
might love the idea of that
Like-
woman.
like-
Yeah, it's all right.
Like everyone wants love and everyone feels a certain different type of flutter or feeling. Sweet, granted, cool. But like, what is actual love, mate? what is it? It's subjective to that individual.
No, I agree.
Like I could sit here and say how I want to be loved, and you could say it as well. But I just think like that's fine. Like it's good to find someone that you can have that relationship with. But I'd rather find my purpose and who I am and what I want to do as a man.
Yeah, that's
Make
right.
sure I fucking pursue that, and I'll eventually attract that to myself anyway. Going and searching for it is the worst thing you could do because that's when you start making people like good enough for who you are at that point. Where like if I think build myself up to be at a certain level, you need to come up here. You need to elevate yourself as a woman for you to even be considered to be promoted to wifey. Because you know who you are. And to be honest, it makes it more difficult when you get into your 30s. It's a lot more harder to find someone because you're so established, because you're so sure of yourself. You know who the fuck you are when you're standing on your 2 feet. No woman is going to be allowed to get near enough to you because you know from the experiences that you've had up until that point whether she's good enough or not, if she's going to be considered as a serious candidate or not.
And a lot of people have baggage as well.
Like I'll be honest here, and this is like a more advice to women more than anything. I guarantee you, a man will fucking know from the moment he's met you whether he's thinking about you seriously or not. From the moment he's met you,
I agree.
he knows.
First 5
you
10
know,
minutes.
bro.
Yeah.
You fucking
You
know.
do.
Yeah, you actually do. You're right.
Absolutely know. Just like you know if you want to like potentially pursue him or not. He knows exactly what he wants.
100%.
Like you, like I would like to think like most men should.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I don't think you.
I don't think they do.
They don't, bro.
I'm not saying you have everything figured out. That could change.
No, I'm saying I don't think most men can identify that.
They should be able to. And you know why you can't? Is because you don't have the experience.
And you
You're
don't,
right.
you don't know yourself well enough.
You don't have the experience. You've not been around enough.
No,
women
the,
to know that.
the experience is spot on. Like, I think the reason why we can identify it so quickly is because we have a lot of experience around women. Like I could, like you said, I know from the minute not minute, but probably about 10 minutes in, where I'm like, yeah, I can bird this bird, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm straight away, 10
What
minutes
the
in.
red flags are, what's the green flags? Like, I'm not saying you've got that person figured out. Someone could fucking like completely
Shock you, yeah.
and like impress you.
Yeah. Change your mind,
Yeah,
basically.
like can impress you, but you would like to think like you're a good judge of character by the time you hit a certain age, which I believe we are. Like, not judging those people that like don't fit that criteria, but when I'm sitting in front of a woman, I'm having a conversation, I'll know like if I want to pursue her or not. But that comes with experience. In my early 20s, I was looking at most women going, oh, she'll do. She's all right.
You're
She's
right.
fit.
That's right. Yeah,
She's
you're right,
sexy.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, you're sexy. Congratulations. A lot of women are. A lot of women are good looking. But
What
like
do you
how-
actually bring to the table?
like it's the way you present yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you hold yourself. Like, just there's so many key element of things that we want, or a man should want, which they kind of put under the carpet and just pursue them because they just fit, and then
And that's why now, innit? As a
expect them to be a
man,
wife. Like, you mad?
as a man now, all of us here will look at a woman and go, could that be the mother of my children? If you're dating someone seriously, you're like, could that be, like, could I make her the mother of my child?
And it's not just when you're together.
Yes, right.
God forbid, like something happens between you and your partner. Can she still be a mother and represent me or represent me even when we're not together? Because how many women or even men do you hear after a relationship they go and like
Off the rails.
go off the rails, start shagging that person, doing a madness, and like you've got a child.
Awful.
That kid's in the middle, seeing all of these things. And why do you think these kids fail in school? Why do you think these kids grow up with problems, mental health shit, and have social anxiety and all of these fucking fucked up problems?
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
because of broken families.
Yeah. And having them too young, mate. You're still a baby yourself. You know, this is your first time on planet Earth too. You're still trying to figure out life and figure out what it's like to be an adult and what it's like to live on this planet around social norms and whatnot. You ain't got shit figured out yet. Listen, most people wing it their whole way through life, right? But by the time you're in your like mid-30s, you've got a little bit more of an understanding of the world, a little bit more of an understanding of yourself. And so therefore you are able as a parent and as a husband to be able to represent and hold yourself in a far better manner than what you are in your early 20s. You're able to be a far better role model, not only to your wife, because your wife should look up to you as a male, and you should also admire your wife, but especially to your kids, especially to your children. They should look up to you and your missus and be like, I want to have and be like my mum and dad.
And
Without
do you know
doubt.
what? Like, and this isn't disregarding anyone that has actually gone their separate ways with their partner, because I'll tell you what, there are some people that go their separate ways, but they have this type of relationship where they still hold it down and show that family unity, which I fucking respect so much, because that is so difficult. That is so difficult to be able to hold that up and present that to go like, do you know, we're not together, but we still love you, and this is how family unity should be. And they all still meet up in certain
have
ways.
Sunday dinners
I'm
and
not
stuff
saying
like
I
that.
necessarily
Yeah.
want to do that, but that's also important. Because
Stay
there
amicable.
are going to be a lot of people out there that might be listening that have been through divorces and broken up and single parents. There's a lot of them out there.
I think that's the man's responsibility though, because I'll tell you why.
Really?
Your full responsibility. Because how do you not know that person well enough? Like, I know there's certain people I talk to, I'm thinking, even if shit went sour, I know that they still would do me a solid after. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People can surprise you though,
It's-
bro.
If me and you fell out, I still know that you'd look after my mum if I went to prison.
Yeah, well,
That- that's your peer,
See,
though.
my-
That's a man.
Fair
Yeah. Well,
Different.
I wouldn't get close to someone unless I knew that I was going to have the same kind of expectations as I do with my best friends. So if you are choosing women that are going to be an absolute hell to like be with after if you break up, God forbid, then I think you have a very poor judge of character in the first place, because you should be picking people based, like you said, judged on their character.
Yeah,
And if you
yeah,
can't
course.
judge that in the early, I know someone. Or I speak to them. Cut that word out. Sorry, but I know who they are deep down. You see glimpses of it. They only keep that facade up for a few months.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it slips. So if you've now married that person, even though you've seen that deep rooted person within them, that is your fault as a man, because you should have left and run for the hills in the beginning stages.
I agree. Like,
Yeah,
if there
I
are
amen to
identifying
that, yeah.
factors and red flags and you're choosing to ignore them, then you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're an absolute fucking fool. But I do think there are cases where some people can pull the wool in front of your eyes.
That long, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, bro.
What, for years?
Some women, yeah.
Even maybe some men can, but some women are fucking experts at it, mate.
For that
Finesses.
long.
Bro, like,
But people live double lives, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, people literally
But do
live
that.
double. Yeah, they 100%
I know they do. But do you think we wouldn't know? Like, I'm so sure of my judge of people. I could see them.
But there are very, very, very clever manipulators.
But look at
And
the
it's
business-
not-
look at
it's
the
not
business
even just
meetings.
that, though. It's not to cut you off, but some people could have an amazing relationship and it could be real, but one turn of events could absolutely fucking change someone.
Yeah, man.
It could change someone. Like, there might have been, there are cases like that, bro. There are some people that out there that
There are men out there that live
have-
completely.
Men, yeah.
Like, they've got other families, bro. They've literally got
Other
other
families.
families.
No,
that's true. I've heard of that.
Do you know what I mean? And they're like, the wife had absolutely,
No
neither of them
clue.
had no clue.
Yeah, but again, that's what I'm saying. It's
Keep
the
going on
it's,
like business
yeah,
meetings,
yeah.
you're
So,
fine.
say for instance, okay, this is my point. This is exactly my point. So it's the man's responsibility, because if then the man, then done the woman over, she found out he's having a double life, and then she turned into a horrible person, and there was no family unit. Again, it's the man's fault. It's always the man's fault.
You got to take accountability.
Yeah, I
and
agree with you. Taking
responsibility.
accountability. Yeah.
Because if you can't judge the woman based on who she is in the early stages, that's your fault. And if then you fuck it up from cheating or living a double life, it again is your fault. It all lays down to the man, because you should either have a good judge of character through experience, or you shouldn't be fucking up cheating on your missus.
I'll tell you what should be a good judge of character. What you're saying here about picking the right missus is the relationship she has with her friends. If a girl doesn't have any friends, or she's never got a social circle, or she's never out and about, she's never doing bits and pieces, that for me raises alarm bells. Why don't you have friends?
I do think it is subjective, that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, mate. Like, why don't you have friends? Why aren't you? Where's your social
It
life?
depends on the friends, though. Would you not rather have like one solid mate that she's kind of chill with? Would you rather have like loads of friends that
I
they
agree.
always go out and
I
fuck
don't think-
around?
But yeah, but just
I don't
having
think
loads
it's
of friends
about- I don't think
doesn't
that's it.
result.
I think
Yeah,
it depends on the quality of the people.
Correct,
around
yeah.
her.
Like,
It
what if her
doesn't
friends have
necessarily
got-
matter the number.
fellas and kids and all that sort of stuff. It's like, okay, cool. She's got a really nice social
Yeah.
circle. Like, why don't you have a social life? Because if a girl was getting with a guy and he had no friends, that's a problem. Like, why don't you have a social life?
Do you know what a social life actually does in a relationship? It takes pressure off your relationship. If you're around the right people, if you're around the right friends, it takes pressure off it, because someone who lacks purpose or who doesn't have that social friend or a group or like any hobbies, any interests, and they just sit there waiting for you to do what you need to do, they're very involved into your life and always dictating what you should do and not do. If someone has their own like kind of life and they're able to like do certain things
their
around
own thing,
themselves, they won't like come at you like that. They'll have their own shit going on. So it takes the pressure off. So I think it is important to have right quality people around you. Because any wrong friends, what happens? They're just so involved in your life. Even if you're married, they're getting involved in telling you about your husband, and
Like-
sooner or later you believe it.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. Yeah,
Let's
rug
be
muncher.
honest.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
Fuck it, go for it. It's our point.
yeah, innit? Fucking donuts, mate.
Call her out then. Say something, bruv.
Not
Or you
gonna
still
call-
on the ring
no,
doorbell?
No, you're not call. What do you say? What do you say?
No, don't worry.
You gotta say
That's
again.
the
Why are
You
you
look
still
like
on
a
the ring
banana.
doorbell?
Oh, right, okay. No, I'm
What-
not anymore, unfortunately.
What would you do if your girlfriend told you to ditch your mates?
Tell her to fuck off.
That'd be the last thing she ever said to me.
Ditch her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Right answer.
unless like your mates are a catastrophic fucking disaster.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
I want to
You-
understand what's led her to say that. Because
Yeah.
again,
If he's-
if we've identified
Okay,
this woman,
it's us.
Sitting in McDonald's car park smoking joints.
No,
and shit.
then obviously shit. That's obviously if your
No, I'm
if your
joking.
mate's actual donuts, but like say for instance, they said, I don't really like you hanging around with Yo and Mason and Merc because all you do is go to IB for my bar and you're always around these girls in these environments.
Yeah, but but then what does this go back to? I turned around and said it's because we're not able to like show them or integrate them into what you're doing. If you did that, she wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but say you couldn't at this,
Okay,
you're at
you're
this
not
stage
there
right now.
now,
You're
yeah.
not there now.
Well, if
You're
I'm not
there.
there at the moment, that's basically telling me to walk away from what we're building at the moment, which is a no.
Okay. Let's strip it back. Say you don't have this business, but these are your close mates and you go on the occasional holidays with
I
them.
would always listen to understand why she's saying what she is, but I'm never going to walk away from my friends. No way.
Never.
No.
Never.
Never.
Especially if I'm sitting and I can see categorically like these boys are good for me, or like I'm talking about us, right? We'll talk about us. Like if I know like you guys have not done anything to me and we're doing something else besides like business or whatever the fuck it may be, or even if we're just friends, why would I walk away from my friends?
Ever.
I
Because
think
what happens when she walks away from me? Then I've got no one.
Yeah, exactly. There is, again, always exceptions to the rules. Like you said, if you're always just bumming around playing Xbox, smoking weed, and just being an unproductive fuck.
Loser.
And you're with your loser friends doing the same loser stuff, chilling in car parks and stuff, just being a loser, then yeah, she has every right to say it. If your friends are business owners or they're hard workers or they go to the gym and they've got healthy relationships with their parent, whatever it may be,
people, yeah.
they're good people. Then so why the hell are you telling me to ditch them? Oh, well, I don't really like what they say on pods or what
A
they
bit wild when they go out.
well, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you are right. I agree.
think those men are idiots anyway. Anyone to
simp.
be able to
That's a
cut
simp.
to be able to cut away your friends to give all your undivided attention to your missus is suicide. It's suicide.
It's gay.
It is.
Gay.
Bring gay back again.
Yeah,
We stopped saying it quite
so
often.
gay.
Like it's crazy that anyone would even think to do that.
It's fuck. Like, imagine her telling you what to do.
No, you do as you're told and nothing else, baby girl.
Sitting there, be like, you telling me to? Nah.
Who pays the bill, mate?
Come on, they're proper bringing it back.
Bring it back, bring it back.
Let's go.
See what you're wearing, I'll pay for that. See this house, I'll pay for it. Shut up, sit down.
God,
See, look,
Jesus
this is what you're saying. They
Here
go,
they come.
this is why you don't want a woman to work.
Oh, the feminists
of blood.
Oh, rug munchers in the chat.
I can see it. The thing is, they take it so seriously, didn't they? That's the thing.
Rug munchers in the chat, you know.
Innit? Go clean the kitchen.
Oh, we're so back.
Come and fucking cook beans on toast. Get out of here, mate.
Yeah, bye.
What's wrong with you? Make me a salata sandwich.
Make me some
Make me a
sujuk.
salata.
Right, let's wrap it up. We're done here.
Cool.
Boys, find your purpose. Figure out who you are as a man. Get the experience you need. Do not rush anything. You got all the time in the world to be able to find a woman, but you don't have all the time in the world to build your empire.
Let's end it there. That was
Yeah,
cold.
no more said.
That was good.
Banging.
Just don't.
If you haven't already, like, subscribe.
Leave a comment in the comment section.
And we'll see you next time, people.
Peace.
Right
Peace.
side.